So, on October 15th, 2025, Kenya lost a political titan. I mean, for nearly half a century, Raila Odinga was the central character in the nation's story. This is our tribute to a man whose legacy is just a fascinating study in paradox. A leader who never actually won the presidency, but you could argue he shaped the country more than anyone who did. And you see that central paradox of his life so clearly, right at the moment of his death. This powerful tribute, it didn't come from an ally. No, this came from President William Ruto. It was this incredible moment of national unity, where years of really bitter conflict were just set aside to honor the man. And you know, the president's words were backed up by real action. The whole country was pretty much brought to a standstill. Raila Odinga was given a full state funeral with military honors. That's the highest tribute possible. Even the national pastime paused. All football matches were suspended, which is such a poignant symbol of a nation just collectively holding its breath. To truly understand the statesman Raila eventually became, we have to go back to his beginning. But not his birth, his rebirth, inside a prison cell. We have to understand the dissident he was forced to become. Now look, yes, he was born into politics. His father was Kenya's first vice president after all, but it wasn't that privilege that forged his identity. No way. It was the immense personal suffering in the dark cells of an authoritarian state that truly defined the man. The sheer scale of the persecution he endured under the Moi regime is just staggering. He was arrested in 1982 and spent years in detention without a trial. And the cruelty was so personal, prison authorities actually waited 2 full months to tell him his own mother had died. This suffering is what led Amnesty International to name him a prisoner of conscience, and it's what ultimately forced him into exile. This decade of torment is what transformed him into a national symbol of resistance. So, with the moral authority he earned through all that sacrifice, he began this lifelong quest for the presidency. And while it's easy to look at his 5 campaigns and just see them as failures, the real story is how each one of those challenges served as a crucial stress test that, in the end, actually strengthened Kenya's democratic institutions. You can see this evolution so clearly over 3 key elections. In 2007, a disputed result leads to a massive crisis, but it also leads to a power-sharing government. Then, in 2013, he chooses to fight in the courts instead of the streets, setting a vital precedent. And in 2017, that faith was totally vindicated when the Supreme Court, in a first for Africa, annulled the entire presidential election. Each contest forced the system to mature. This quote, it captures the absolute chaos of that 2007 election perfectly. When the head of the Electoral Commission himself gets on national television and admits that he can't be sure who won, you know your institutions are broken. It was from that abyss that the demand for profound national reform became completely unstoppable. Okay, so this leads us to the most defining and definitely the most debated part of his career. His incredible ability to pivot from being the fiercest opposition imaginable to a pragmatic, strategic peacemaker. This captures his dual nature perfectly. On the one hand, you've got the agitator, leading street protests, filing constant legal challenges. On the other hand, you have the statesman, making peace pacts with his former jailer, President Moi, and his other rivals. He was both the anti-establishment crusader and the ultimate insider kingmaker, famously declaring Kibaki Tosha, which means Kibaki is enough, to endorse a former rival for president. And these truces became so famous, they actually created their own political term, the handshake. This is such a key concept to understand. It's a public pact between rivals, not just to end a fight, but to pull the entire nation back from the brink of chaos. And here lies the tragic irony. His most famous handshake, the one with President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018, brought national peace after a really divisive election. But by joining the establishment, he gave up his career-defining role as the outsider. This created a political vacuum that his opponent, William Ruto, brilliantly exploited to defeat him. The very act that made him a statesman may have been what sealed his political fate. But his legacy isn't just about the political fights. It's about what he built. So let's look at the tangible contributions that fundamentally reshaped the Kenyan state and his bigger vision for the entire continent. If there is one single monumental achievement, it's the 2010 Constitution. As Prime Minister in the coalition government, he championed this transformative document. It created a powerful Bill of Rights, it slashed the president's power, and it devolved authority and money away from the central government to 47 new counties. This was really the culmination of his life's work. And that drive to build, it didn't just stop at Kenya's borders. He applied those same principles of justice, of modernization, and of accountability to his vision for a more prosperous and interconnected Africa. His stature grew to be continental. He served as the African Union's High Representative for Infrastructure, pushing for these massive continent-wide projects. And the fact that his final major political act was a serious campaign for the chairmanship of the AU Commission, well, that just shows the immense respect he commanded far, far beyond Kenya. So as we wrap this up, just consider his unparalleled position. Kenyan politics had one central organizing principle: your position on Raila Odinga. You were either with him or you were against him. He was the nation's political center of gravity. And this brings us right back to that core paradox. His ultimate legacy is this: he is the man who never sat in the highest seat. Yet his quests, his challenges, and his compromises shaped modern Kenya more profoundly than any of the presidents he fought against. He was a man of just profound contradictions, a dissident who made peace with his tormentors, a populist who came from a political dynasty, an agitator who ended up building the very institutions he challenged. He was, in a word, an enigma. And so his life leaves us with this fundamental question: is a leader's legacy defined by the titles they hold, or by the impact they have on the nation they leave behind? For Raila Odinga, the answer seems pretty clear.
Your spirit rise, your work never done. Lala salama, oh Agwambo, one love for everyone. You spoke of unity, you preached about peace. Said no more chains till the hearts find release. You plant the seed of a brighter day, and now the youth them chant your way. From the highlands call to the coastal breeze, your name live on in the songs we sing. Jano Kenya cry, but still stand tall. One love, one heart for them all. The lions sleep, but the roar remain. Agwambo live through the people's pain. Freedom fire still burning bright. Light up the dark, bring truth to light. Lala salama, Agwambo, sleep in peace, my brother. Lala salama, oh Baba, we'll walk with one another. From Kisumu Bay to Nairobi sun, your spirit rise, your work never done. Lala salama, oh Agwambo, one love for everyone. One love, one heart. Let's remember the man. One dream, one voice. For the whole nation stand. Agwambo, rest now, your journey's begun. The children of Africa carry it on. Sleep easy now, Baba. Jah guide and keep you. Kenya still singing.